It's Friday evening. I'm working on the IS250 and today I'm fixing, or starting to fix, a problem that I actually caused myself. Well, you might see it as a problem, you might see it as a win-win. I don't know, I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Let me show you what we're talking about. I've lowered this car and I've changed front wheels to these buddy clubs, and I think they're very racy looking. The front end of the car now looks, very cool, I think anyway, but what it does show off now, because there's such an open wheel design, is these brakes behind them, and yeah, just don't look very good. I had to get a new caliper carrier. You'll see one of this in one of the earlier episodes, but yeah, now you can see the brake caliper and it just looks real weedy, and the disc, and it don't look very racy, don't look very cool. So we're going to be fixing that. So let me show you what we've got to fix this normal sort of one piston normal standard car brake system. We've got we've got some absolute big boys, some 4-piston large lads. Now let me put them on there so you can see them. Now these actually come off a GS450H, so the GS of the same generation as this, with the, I think it's a 3.5 litre and it's a hybrid and all that, so they're a big heavy car, and they have these brakes, and these are a straight fit onto these. So now these look pretty smart themselves, however I am going to actually do something to make these look a little bit better. So they're going to get painted, although these would look a lot smarter anyway, just silver, it's nice, fresh, whatever. It's a bit boring, and I want them to kind of pop now that we're, draw a bit of attention to them now that we've upgraded them. So first of all, you'll have to stick around for the colour reveal, but I'm gonna flatten this front end out a little bit, just take any little nicks out of here and kind of prep this for a sticker which is going to be going on here. So I want this as flat as possible, even though it's going to be getting a colour and then the sticker. But yeah, so let's get on with kind of just sanding this down, and then I'll scuff the rest of the caliper and then mask it up, and then we can get on with painting it. It is the next day. It got dark quite quick actually. We are getting into autumn, which is quite scary. Anyway, it's a really wet day, so we're painting inside the shed. So let me show you the setup. So we've got hanging from some screws on the ceiling. We have the caliper. Now I've only got one out there at the minute. There's only really space to do one. This is the limitation annoyingly. I mean, I've got a compressor back there, but I can't paint in here because there's just not enough space. But I masked this up off camera, embarrassed to say how long it took to get around the pistons and stuff. Done the bleed nipple, done in like the bolt holes and the mating surface up in there. I'm just warming it up at the minute with a heater. As soon as it gets a little bit warmer in here, we're going to start spraying. So I'll show you, I'll just film a little bit of that. Now if all of you out there who are watching this and thinking that looks like a really janky painting setup, subscribe, then maybe I can get a garage and I can actually do a bit of a better painting setup. But yeah, I agree, but does the job just about. I'm going to do another couple of layers off camera. I think I got a run on top, so I'll hopefully try and blend that in. But now I've got a run because it was a bit of a miscut, but we'll give it 15-20 minutes, we'll do another coat, and we'll just build it up a couple of layers at a time. And this is how we're looking at the minute. I've been waiting for these stickers in the post for ages, along with some other bits, and then it all came at once, so thank you very much, Royal Mill. But yeah, they come. Don't look too close there, I don't know if they're perfectly central, but We are now going to put these in the shed. I've sheeted up this time because lacquer goes everywhere, and I'm going to 2K these. So we're going to get these in the shed. I'm going to scuff them up very slightly just so it has a little bit of bite. I'll scuff over stickers as well very carefully. Then we can rinse them down with a brake cleaner, get them ready, and then just do a sticky coat with the lacquer, and then a thick coat with the lacquer. It's 2K where you have to press the hardener, so it should be, it's proper 2K, it should be pretty good. I've used this before on headlights and it's come out pretty well. Yeah, so let's get cracking. I'm not going to set you up like I did when I was filming the yellow. There's not too much to do with the lacquer, and my camera's actually got a bit of yellow on it still, so I need to avoid that happening with lacquer. So let's crack on and I'll keep you up to date during the process. Definitely wear a mask for 2K lacquer. But first mist coat is on, let me show you. Absolutely reeks in here, but I've sheeted up a little bit this time, so at least it won't get absolutely grafted. But yeah, so that's just gonna flash off a little bit, get tacky, get sticky, and then wait for that second nice coat of really thick lacquer. So I'll do that. So hit 15 minutes, we'll come back. Kind of stinks in here now, but these are looking pretty good, pretty glossy. So I'm gonna leave these here to cure overnight, and then tomorrow, let's see how they look. Okay, looking at that, I think these have come out pretty good. Oh, I've got to remove a bit of masking here, but they're not perfect. They're not like when you buy a big brake kit and all this is smooth. They are just like normal brake caliper texture where it's, they are OEM calipers. You get the wrinkly, but with a couple of coats. I definitely should have ordered 2 cans of the yellow and maybe really got in there, but with a couple of coats of lacquer, it's a lot smoother. And on the front, I put the stickers on and then lacquered over them so they're sealed in. And gave a really good thick coat there, so it's fairly smooth. It's not perfect, but from a distance I think that'll look a lot better on the car. So I've got my discs and pads, I've got my brake fluid. I just need to double check I've got some hose for bleeding the brakes. Hopefully I'm going to get these on tomorrow. It's Saturday now, I've just got back from somewhere, really can't be bothered doing it as of now. I'm going to chill out, and then we've got all day Sunday. We're going to get them on the car, bleed them all up, and show you the finished product. So catch you tomorrow when we put them on. Okay, we have a break in the rain. It's been raining all morning, but it's come out nice, and I might regret this when it starts to rain a bit, but let's crack on. So, ain't too crusty, I don't have a flare spanner, but let's just undo this at the top, remove the retaining clip, and we can pull the brake line out. And then I can just remove the caliper, the carrier, trim the dust shield a tiny bit, and put everything back on. And we've got some hell braided lines to go on as well, so let me get the old stuff off the car. We can start putting the new stuff on. I had to stop because I need a tool, and I kind of knew I needed this tool, but I tried to ignore it. I thought I'd be alright. I made a 10mm flare spanner, but I need a proper one really because it's just too flexible. After nearly rounding the bolt out and then all the nut on the brake line and then kind of filing it to make it correct again, it's apparent that I need one. So it's Sunday, it's all the shops are closed, so it was a bad idea to try and start this anyway, but at least I've only wasted half an hour getting the car up and investigating. So I'll order a flare spanner, and I'll do this one day after work. Catch you then. I am itching to get things done, so I'm dashing out here between rain, hence why I haven't been filming the full process, because it just keeps raining, my camera keeps getting wet. I've got the disc off, I've got the old brake line off, caliper's just hanging up there, I'll disconnect that at the last second. Brake line was rounding a bit, but Mo grips to the rescue. Hopefully I can nip it up fine with them. Just got a cut now, before I put the new caliper on. You can either get the IS250 ones or the GS ones of these, or you can just cut this dead straight down here. This tab interacts with the new caliper and stops it. So I'm just going to cut that with my grinder real quick. I've cleaned this up a bit, just so it ain't as crusty for when the spacer goes back on, and then we can start putting the new caliper on, and then we just have to do the same on the other side. Get to it. And we finished off one side in the rain yesterday. I'm going to show you a bit more of the other side today. I've just got one done, but how much better does that look already? Disc fills the wheel a bit better, and the caliper looks really good. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So now that it's actually not terrible weather, let me show you a bit more of the other side. First stumbling block yesterday was the brake hose connector. Let's see if it'll come off without rounding this time. Yeah, nice. I just got to hold the brake lines, make sure I don't snap on that, but that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good. We're already one step easier than yesterday, so that's very good. So that's sorted. Now, let me take these spacers off. Impact gun's very good for this. Calipers off, now I can take the disc off. Usually got to whack these. There we go, disc off. Obviously that's mullered because I've whacked it. Now we're going to trim down this dust shield, so let me show you that. Okay, let's cut this down. I'm at an awkward angle here because I'm trying to show you guys, so excuse if I look awkward with the grinder. And that's pretty much done. I'm just going to neat it up with a flat disc. Some of the other side, depending on how crusty this is and how bent it is, it does catch the disc a little bit, so I'm going to just trim down some areas where I found this was catching yesterday. At some point I probably will get the newer, like the IS250 style ones, but these will do for now. They're only a dust shield really. You know, keep the dust coming this way rather than going back into the arch lining. But let me tidy this up and then we can start getting the new caliper on for you guys. Right, next let's get the disc on and then we can get the spacer on to hold it in place. Heavy, very heavy these discs, I think like 7 kilos each. Well, that's what was on the shipping label anyway, which is crazy. I'm just going to see where it's catching now. Nice. Okay, let's get the spacer on, hold that in place. Good. Alright, let's have a little tidy up around here, refill my brake cleaner, get the caliper on. And the caliper's on. So yeah, looks good. Bit less cross hatching on this one. I don't know why, they are both Ridex, but as you'll see in my note earlier, I did manage to order one singular brake disc, so I did order them from different times, so yeah. Got to put the pads in yet, but this clip's a little bit loose, it kind of need to play around with that, but it's just a clip, I can do that whenever. If it's rattling, if it's annoying me. But the braided lines are on, they look really good. And now I'm just waiting for my wife to get home so she can stand on the brakes and bleed them. Well, I'm going to bleed them, but she can stand on the brakes for me. It's a bit awkward to find one of the bleeding kits for the Toyotas because they have like a snap-on lid rather than a screw-on. You can get them, but they're a bit more expensive and I was being a bit cheap, so even though I'm putting big brakes on the car. Anyway, in the meantime I'm going to put the pads in. I'll get the fresh brake fluid ready to go. And then I'll see how they feel, but I'll probably do a full brake flush as well all the way around. Need to check out that tyre as well. A back left wheel, which looks hilariously tucked because the car's jacked up, keeps going down to like 9 psi. Was it this one? No, it was this one. Yeah, keeps going down to like 9 psi, and I'm not running like mega stretch, so it's not as if it's trying to debead. So yeah, I'm gonna spin that around in a bit and just see if I can see anything. See if there's any nails or anything obvious in there. If not, I might just have to take it off and spray some soapy water on it, and you know, see if I can see where it's leaking from. But yeah, little bits to mess around with. Gonna get the pads in and then yeah, bleed them up and we're good. I'll show you the finished product on both sides. and this side's on, and I've done a fresh fluid change all the way around, so yeah, looking pretty good now. But like I say, that disc doesn't have cross hatching like the other one, so a bit interesting. But so that's what we're looking like on this side and this side. I think that makes the front of the car look a lot racier. Fills out the wheels a little bit better, and yeah, pretty happy with that. I did, however, discover, I didn't take a video of it, I've put it back on the car now, but I have a crack in my rears, or one of my rears. My rear? I have a crack in my rear. So yeah, that's not good, so I'm going to have to get that welded. Luckily it's on the barrel, so I can get it, it doesn't have to look, you know, really nice, so I can get that done. Not the end of the world, it is money I'm going to have to spend that I didn't really want to spend, but that's cars in it for you, so yeah. I'm just going to take it out for a spin and we'll see how the brakes feel. So I've went for a little run to McDonald's, and yeah, the brakes feel good. They feel really good. They feel more like my wife's BMW, the 3 Series. They feel like really sort of responsive. Obviously we've upgraded the calipers and the discs to, you know, from single piston, I think like 280mm discs, to 4 piston calipers and like 330mm discs, so obviously it's going to be better. And then the braided lines as well, it just gives that like really nice like solid feel. So yeah, really happy with that. Not so happy about my alloy wheels, but I can get it welded for like 60 quid, so it's not the end of the world, but it's just a bit annoying. I'll have to put the stockies back on the rear for a bit and a couple of days turnaround. But hey, there's cars in it, and the UK roads are absolutely terrible. If you live here, you know. If you don't live here, just take my word for it, they're very, very bad. So yeah, I don't know when that's happened, but it is what it is. But brakes are a success, so we take what we can get. So yeah, so if you enjoyed the episode and you're excited to see more on the IS250, then please, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube good stuff. And maybe eventually, if enough for you to do that, like I say, we can get a unit, so I can bring you more content, and I don't have to just go, well, it was raining. So yeah, do me a favour, help me out with the algorithm. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.